Versatile Mage. Chapter 152 Scheming Battle. Who wants to be first? Dean Seo looked at the 7 summoner students with a slight smile. Me. Each one of these people wants to beat our summoned beast for their own reputation. I will make each one of them crawl on the floor. Hai Dafu spoke up, as he did not want to pass his responsibilities on to others. Then we'll let you have the spot. Hai Dafu strode toward the midpoint of the arena. By the entrance of the cage was a line of people. It stretched quite a ways back. They all seemed very impatient. Hai Dafu's gaze swept past a couple of students standing in the very front, seeing them currently fighting about who was going to go first. Why don't you dregs come up together so we don't have to waste time? The teachers will count the amount of challenges and add them to our end of the year grades. Why should first and last matter when you are all just numbers? Hai Dafu didn't try to hide his arrogance, while at the same time, he was completely looking down on the students from other elements. What did you say, brat? Watch me annihilate your summoned beast with a single move. The young man with dyed blue hair shouted back, clearly displeased. If your summoned beast can even touch the corner of the clothes of me, the Wind Grandmaster, I will acknowledge you as my older brother. I don't accept trash little brothers like you, Hai Dafu shot back in disapproval. Hai Dafu's speech immediately infuriated the 2 guys who were fighting over the first place in line. Soon after, the 4 people at the very front jumped into the cage together with unstoppable anger. Only 4, that's not even enough to put in between my summoned beast's teeth. Hai Dafu mocked them. Taking a slow step forward, Hai Dafu closed his eyes. A faintly discernible moonlight glow appeared in Hai Dafu's surroundings. At first, it had the radiance of the stars in the sky. They looked as though they were moving according to his wishes. Under the control of Hai Dafu, they quickly assembled into a dimensional star path. The star path split space and opened the tunnel to a different world. A dark, chaotic, and cold aura burst forth like water from the inside of the split space, flowing around Hai Dafu. The dust beneath his feet floated into the air. From the dusty area, you could see a body of steel suddenly appearing from within the crack. Its shoulders, back, and forelimbs had extremely sharp corners. Its entire body looked like an assembly of weapons that could cut anything. Chi. As a sound was emitted, the dust dispersed. Everyone could finally clearly see the summoned beast. Its triangular head was covered in sharp spikes. Its thick and solid forelimbs that looked like 2 heavy battleaxes covered its solid keratin armor. The gigantic scorpion's main body was covered in long, visible spikes. Its hind legs weren't as eye-catching as its battleaxe front legs, but in place of its toes, there were actually bone scythes. They would cut people who wanted to attack it from behind into 2. White armored battle scorpion. The blue-haired boy's face immediately changed once he saw the summoned beast. The students in Pearl Institute had an extraordinary and vast amount of knowledge beyond their combat prowess. They could instantly recognize what kind of summoned beast was scuttling towards them. However, the knowledge they'd learned from books was only from books. Books and pictures were unable to reproduce the impact of when the creature was standing in front of you. It seems like there really were challengers who came without intel. My white armor soldier is disobedient most of the time. Don't come to me and ask for medical fees when you've lost your arms and legs. Hai Dafu smiled. Chi. The white armored battle scorpion didn't waste any time. It looked at the 4 challengers in front of itself, and made its move. Its battleaxe-like legs had already been raised. They could feel wind whipping past them when it did. From this alone, they could determine that the white armored battle scorpion's strength was dreadful. Hurry up and disperse. The blue-haired student cried out as he immediately dodged to the side. The wind element magician quickly used wind trails, rapidly distancing himself from the white armored battle scorpion. The other 2 were also escaping. Unfortunately, they were a bit slower, and the white armored battle scorpion's target was precisely them. At this time, it was mainly about who was the slowest to escape. At last, The white armored battle scorpion locked onto a delicate boy who wore his cap on backwards. Its legs churned the wind and turned into battleaxes as it ferociously chopped toward the delicate boy. All of the students and teachers couldn't help but take a deep breath. This Hidafu really wasn't being lenient. If the scorpion chopped into the boy's head, he definitely wouldn't be able to survive. By the arena, the light element teacher Gu Han's forehead slowly creased. You could see a golden starlight beneath his foot as the white armored battle scorpion was chopping down with its battleaxes. Gu Han was the guard teacher today. In order for the beast battle competition to run successfully, he had to save the lives of the students when they were in a life-threatening situation. However, right when he was about to finish the intermediate light magic, he saw an azure starlight flashing around the body of the slender student. Gu Han quickly cancelled his own spell cast. Kang! When the axe forelegs heavily chopped down, people cried out, and a brown rock shield formed in front of the boy suddenly. The gigantic axe leg was deeply lodged onto the rock shield. It looked as though it was stuck in it. Beneath the shield was the delicate boy who had looked so scared that he was about to piss himself a bit ago. However, his eyes were now flashing with a crafty light, and he no longer had the appearance of someone struck by fear. Dazzle, blind. The boy smiled in anticipation. In his hand was a ball of light that he had condensed without anyone noticing. Your summoned beast will definitely be burned at this distance. Encountering me, Xe Wenfeng, can be considered your misfortune. The slender boy raised his hand, and the golden ball that was already in his hands burst forth in front of the white armored battle scorpion. The fierce and blinding light was like swords of light as it burned the white battle-armored scorpion's eyes. The white armored battle scorpion already had its eyes closed, but they were forced open under the scorching of the light. Brilliantly done. The blue-haired youngster and the other two began to get excited. If Dazzle, blind was used right, it could be a godly spell. It could instantly shut down the sight of the enemy. Even if a magical beast was stronger, as long as it lost its eyesight, it would turn into a waste. Dealing with it afterwards would only be a matter of time. That scheming bastard. Mo Fan raised his eyebrows in astonishment. Truly worthy to be called a student of Pearl Institute. They were on a completely different level compared to the classmates who weren't even able to complete their casting when facing a magical beast. Furthermore, the light elemental boy's usage of the spell was extremely clever. First, he lured the scorpion close, and then used Dazzle, blind at point-blank range. The original primary spell that was considered useless instantly turned into the crucial point of his team's victory. At this moment, Mo Fan couldn't help but get a little excited. If any random student in Pearl Institute had this level of control and response, then fighting them would definitely be extremely exciting. Chapter end. Please guys like, comment, share, and subscribe.